ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमर्दः शृण्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। फर्स्ट श्लोक, फिफ्थ चैप्टर। अथ पंचमोऽध्यायः। अर्जुन उवाच सन्न्यासं कर्मणां कृष्ण पुनर्योगं च शंससि यच्छ्रेय एतयोरेकम् तन्मे ब्रूहि सुनिश्चितम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच सन्न्यासः कर्मयोगश्च निःश्रेयसकरावुभौ तयोस्तु कर्मसन्न्यासात् कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते। ज्ञेयः स नित्यसन्न्यासी यो न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति निर्द्वन्द्वो हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते। सांख्ययोगौ पृथक् बालाः प्रवदन्ति न पण्डिताः एकमप्यास्थितः सम्यक् उभयोर्विन्दते फलम्। यत्साङ्ख्यैः प्राप्यते स्थानम् तद्योगैरपि गम्यते। एकं साङ्ख्यं च योगं च यः पश्यति स पश्यति। सन्न्यासस्तु महाबाहो दुःखमाप्तुमयोगतः। योगयुक्तो मुनिर्ब्रह्मा न चिरेणाधिगच्छति। योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रियः। सर्वभूतात्मभूतात्मा कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते। So this fifth chapter started with Arjuna's question that Bhagavan, you talk about sannyasa, renunciation of karma, and you also talk about karma yoga, the performance of karma. And both are not possible to have simultaneously. So you tell me which one is the best? Initially, Bhagavan gave the answer that these two are the lifestyles. The lifestyle characterized by the performance of action and lifestyle which is dominated by a withdrawal from action. And both the lifestyles are contributing to moksha if utilized properly. But Arjuna, for you and most of the people like you, I would say Karma Yoga is better than Sannyasa. Then Bhagavan highlighted that really Sannyasa is to be first imbibed in terms of spirit. Spirit-wise Sannyasa is more important than formal Sannyasa. And what is the spirit of Sannyasa? Ragadvesha Rahityam. Vairagyam if you have, even if you are wearing pant shirt, doesn't matter. You are wearing these orange clothes, Kavi Vastram, but you don't have Vairagyam, then it is inferior compared to the person who has got Vairagyam, even though he is not a sannyasi. And then Bhagavan said, really speaking, there is no difference. The Karma Yoga and Sannyasa, both of them are leading to the same destination, moksha. They are not the two independent means for moksha. They are the two lifestyles which, practiced properly, then lead to moksha. If you are a grihastha like Janaka Raja, you will get moksha. If you are a sannyasi like Shankaracharya, you will get moksha. So, if you are a sannyasi, then only you will get moksha, that is not the case. If you are a grihastha, then only you will get moksha, that is not the case. But whichever ashram you are, you follow the sadhana appropriately. Try to pursue this knowledge and you get knowledge, that itself gives you freedom. So particular ashram does not give you freedom, knowledge gives you freedom. That idea Bhagavan highlighted. And one more point he highlighted, that if a person is not prepared, then sannyasa may be miserable. If a person is prepared, then sannyasa can become more conducive for the pursuit of moksha, pursuit of jnanam. But if not prepared, he is a miserable. Another meaning we saw that without preparedness by karma yoga, this ultimate sannyasa called jnana karma sannyasa is impossible to attain. Whereas if you have prepared yourself with this karma yoga, then this jnana karma sannyasa, which is otherwise called Brahman, one attains adhigacchati without any delay. And then in the 7th shloka, Bhagavan talked about various stages in the life of a sadhaka. First stage was yoga yukta, karma yoga yukta. One starts leading the life of karma yoga, means doing the action with proper attitude. Then it will lead to vishuddhatma, purity of the mind. And then person follows the sadhana of upasana, by which he becomes vijitatma, mastery over the mind, body, mind, sense complex, mastery over the body or mastery over the mind, jitendriyaha, mastery over the organs. Atma can refer to the body, Atma can refer to the mind. So vijitatma means one whose mind is mastered. And jitendriya means one whose organs are mastered. So upasana gives the steadiness, the mastery over the mind and the organs. Then person is ready for jnanam, and then by shravanadi he gets jnanam, and his wisdom is presented by the next expression, sarva bhutatma bhutatma. Means he becomes a wise person who appreciates himself to be the self of all. I am not only the self of this body, I am the self of all the bodies. I am obtaining in every body as the self. Like an enlightened wave appreciates, I am the content of all the waves. I am not only content of this wave, I am the content of all the waves. So you are not restricted to one body. Otherwise what happens? There is a gross selfishness. Means you are so much concerned about your body and the people who are related to your body. Something happens to others, doesn't matter. If somebody gets adulterated things, doesn't matter. I get money, my children will be happy. So that gross selfishness comes when person has got this strong sense of duality, wrong value system. Whereas the wise person, he will be seeing himself to be the self of all. That is the sign of wisdom. And before this comes in life in general, there is broad-mindedness. A person who has got broad-mindedness, that person alone can get this wisdom that I am the self of all. Person who is grossly selfish, all the time thinking about me and mine, I, me, mine, then that person is not fit to receive and assimilate this wisdom. So in general our approach is that we consider the well-being of all. My well-being is considered, but at the same time others' well-being is considered. I don't think that I only have to get benefit, let anything happen to others. That type of approach will not make the person fit for Vedanta. So harmonious life is very important. Then only this wisdom will come. And when this wisdom of self, being the self of all is there, last stage is kurvannapi na lipyate. That person, even though he is doing activity at the level of the body, senses and the mind, for the purpose of loka sangraha, he himself doesn't require any activity, because the purpose of all activities is served. But since he or she may happen to be in a setup where there is a demand, where there is expectancy, there is a script of a grihastha, then a person has to do the duties. When he is doing the duties, that time kurvannapi na lipyate. He is not affected by the result of karma. He will not be bound by karma. Thus, he started with karma yoga and comes to the gnana karma sannyasa. He attains the moksha. Now, in the next two shlokas, how he is not affected by karma, that idea is given. So we'll read. I will chant. You can repeat. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavit pashyan shrunvan sprushan jigran ashnan gachan swapan shwasan pralapan visrujan grinnan unmishan nimishannapi indriyani indriyartheshu vartanta iti dharayan. So here in these two shlokas, what is the approach of a wise person towards karma and how he remains free from the bondage of karma, that is beautifully described. These are two popular shlokas of the 5th chapter. And what is said here? Naiva kanchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavit. Tattvavit means the wise person. A wise person, tattvam vetti iti tattvavit. One who knows the truth of Jiva Jagat Ishvara is called tattvavit. And people have got so many funny ideas about a wise person. People think that wise person means all the time he will be in samadhi, closed eye. So even when you go to see him, he will with great difficulty will open the eyes. Like the kitten, no? When they are newly born, they keep the eyes closed. So similarly, this fellow, this person, wise person, so most of the time his eyes closed, and when you talk to him with great difficulty, open, half open, and in between closed, that type of person means he is a wise person. So we expect a wise person to be something abnormal. Means abnormal people will be keeping the eyes open and talk. Whereas this wise person will be keeping the eyes closed. And he will say, when Swamiji was telling that when he went to see some so-called popular Mahatma, he said, I was in that plane of consciousness, so I have come down, so slowly coming down. Something of that effect. So if somebody does like this, you will be very impressed. You will think this must be a wise person. My teacher doesn't do like this. When I go and talk to him, he just talks like me, you and me. So we want wise person to be somewhat abnormal. Therefore in India, many psychic cases, they pass as a wise person. Really, they are really crazy. If a foreign, this Westerner come, they say this fellow is crazy. And might be a crazy, but he passes as a wise person. Yeah, wise person, some behavior may not be understood by us because we have certain standard. But he need not be an abnormal person. The wise person will be eating regular food only. It is not that he will eat some mud and all this. He will eat roti only. Roti, sabzi, whatever. Some people think the wise people will be always talking very softly. Very softly. When they talk, it comes from very deep. Because wise person is a deep person, so he talks like that. Some ideas are there. All these are funny ideas. That wise person is a normal person. Puja Swamiji said, I am a normal person. So if you meet him, he was like any other person. There is a compassion. There is love for all. There is a consideration for all. But he is regular. He will be eating like you and me eat. So don't expect a wise person to have some such special qualities. Some people expect wise person will do miracles. If a person does miracle, then in India he is considered to be a Siddha Purusha. He is a Mahatma, he is a wise person. That is not so. Yeah, some wise people may do miracles also. But all those who do miracles, they are not wise people. Wise people may do miracles, may not do miracles. Miracles is not a standard test for testing the wisdom. So let us not have such ideas. Some people will think the wise person will not wear dress. So one who doesn't wear dress is a wise person. One who wears dress is not a wise person. No such thing. He will not take bath or something. He will just remain uncamped, without bathing, without changing the dress. So in India we have that type of Mahatmas also. And they are considered to be more evolved than ordinary wise people. So remember, all these things are not connected to wisdom. What makes a wise person a wise person? Wisdom, knowledge. Who is a wise person? One who has got wisdom is a wise person. What is his wisdom? That is given in this shloka. So let us be free from all these mysterious idea, funny ideas about a wise person. He is a wise person who manyeta, would think, would appreciate. And who is he? Yuktaha. Tattvavit, he is knowing the truth. Yuktaha, composed. Means he is remaining in this wisdom. He is remaining in this wisdom. Yuktaha, samahitaha. And that person, manyeta, would appreciate. What? Naiva kinchit karomi. I do not do anything. Then somebody says, I also many times don't do anything. That's what my family members have been telling. You are useless fellow, don't do anything. So am I a wise person? No. While doing things he considers, I don't do anything. That is what makes him a wise person. So when he appreciates I am not doing anything, he says Pashyan. Pashyan means when he is seeing through the eyes, still he appreciates what? I don't see. He is not telling a lie. Sometimes, person is telling a lie, so we may find some contradiction. He is seeing and still appreciates I do not see. Why? Because the answer will be given in the last line. Indriyani indriyartheshu vartante. All the sense organs are engaged in the sense objects. Eyes are the sense organs and the forms and colors are the sense objects. So eyes are engaged in these perceiving the sense objects, forms and colors. Who am I? I am Sakshi of the eyes which are seeing. I am the Sakshi of the objects which are seen. I am not the seer, I am not seeing. Seeing is happening in my presence consciousness. So Pashyan api na pashyati iti manyate. By seeing he thinks I don't see. And Shrunvan, when he is hearing, he says I don't hear. So when he says I don't hear, we think he has got hearing problem. It's not because of hearing problem, he says. Even he is hearing well through organs, the audiological problem is not there. Still, he said, I don't hear. Why? Because I am the Sakshi of the ears who are hearing. Similarly, touching, Sprushan, is touching hard surface or soft surface. I do not touch. Jigran, experiencing smell. He said, I do not do it. Ashnan, eating. While eating, he will say, I don't eat. Nice it is, you are eating and still you can say, I don't eat. So you don't feel bad that, oh, so much is eaten. So mountains of rice people take, no? So this complex is not there. Gachan, while going, he said, I don't go. Then Swapan, while resting, reclining, he says, I am not doing. Shwasan, inhaling, breathing, he says, I am not breathing. Pralapan, talking for hours together, he will say, I don't talk. Like many people after gossiping, they will say, I never gossip. So it is not like that. Some people escape the responsibility and they say like this, I never do that. They will say, I never do that. That is a denial of fact. Here it is not a denial of fact. In fact, here is an appreciation of fact. But appreciation of the fact at higher level, deeper level. At the level of organs, activities are happening. That is accepted. But from the standpoint of Atma, na karomi, I do not go, na gacchami. Pralapan, visrujan. Visrujan means this evacuating. Grinnan means holding, grasping things. Okay. Then unmishan, opening the eyes. Nimishan, closing the eyes. During all the activities, Pashyan, Shrunvan, Sprushan, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Swashan, Pralapan, Visrujan, Grinnan, Unmishan, Nimishan. Unmishan, Nimishan means opening the eyes, closing the eyes. Even Api shows that even when he is doing that, from the onlooker standpoint, he is doing all the activities, he says, I do not do anything. How we can say that? What is the basis to say this? That is said, Indriyani indriyartheshu vartante iti dharayan. Dharayan means understanding in this manner that sense organs are engaged in sense objects. I am just Sakshi of these sense organs and sense objects. I am not doing. So Indriyani vartante na aham. I am not engaged that. I am a Sakshi. This is not a denial of fact. This is not suppression of the fact. It is appreciation of the truth at the highest level. I, consciousness, am free from all the activities. That is what is the basis for him to say, I do not do. Indriyas are doing, I am not doing. Alright. To convey this idea, we have some stories in Purana that gopis, when they were going once to give food to some rishis on the other side of the bank of the river. Then the river was, swelled up, swollen up, and therefore how will we go? Then Krishna says, you tell that if I am brahmachari all the time in my all avatars, I have to add this, then let this river give this path. River gives the way. So they were very innocent, they did it. And then they went to these rishis and they gave food, they ate. And while going back said, what will we do? They asked rishis. Then rishi says, you tell that if we have never eaten, let this river give the path. And it gave path. Afterwards they were thinking, how is it possible Krishna has so many queens? Then how can he be brahmachari? And he has got 10 children from each queen. In Shastra it comes 16,008, sometimes 108. Multiply by 10, 1,60,000. One army itself Krishna had his children. 10 children from each. So how can he be called brahmachari? And these rishis, they ate so well. And some people, when we see at the age of 85, I saw one person, my God, eats so well. At the age of 85, some 40-year-old is not eating. That but they are able to eat. So rishis ate very well. And still they said, we have never eaten. Then this river should give the path. Then it gave also. How it is possible? Then they were given this understanding that even though Krishna is with so many queens, but still he is abiding in akartru jnanam. Therefore he is sada brahmachari, nitya brahmachari. In fact, one name of Krishna is Nitya Brahmacharina Namaha. And these rishis, even though they appear to eat, but they are always free from that. And thus Atma Jnanam keeps me free from the bondage of this karma by appreciating I am akarta. But remember this type of wisdom is not to be misused. If you try to misuse this wisdom, wisdom will not be affected. You will be a loser. So this type of wisdom is used by those wise people who are spontaneously dharmic. So it is not to justify their wrong action they are saying this. Wrong or right, in each action they have got the same appreciation. I am akarta. If you know I am akarta and you are abiding in this, then karma does not bind you. But our problem is, I was telling in one of the classes, when something goes wrong, we like to use this wisdom. See, I am akarta. So I shouted at somebody, I slapped somebody, and then I want to console myself. So what will I say? I am akarta, I am akarta. So try to console myself, try to get some strength, try to be free from guilt. Then some satisfaction, because nobody is there to, question you. Then after some time, when something is done well, and somebody appreciates, wow, what a nice rangoli you did, column you did. Wow, great. Yes, this is me. It means your wisdom is not a wisdom, it is escapism. So when you are using this knowledge only to justify or to escape from the responsibility, for wrongdoing, then this knowledge is not real knowledge, it is a way of escapism. And nothing will happen to wisdom. Wisdom will remain wisdom, but you will be a loser. When you are engaged in adharma, when you are doing wrong action, it is better to take responsibility. Yes, it was done wrong, it was wrong, and it happened because of certain background. In future, we will be careful. And a person who has lived the life of dharma, that person alone can finally get this wisdom. In the name of this I am a karta, if he or she is justifying, supporting this wrong action, that person will never get this real wisdom. Therefore, this wisdom is not to be misused for our wrongdoing. You can say, yes, something went wrong, I came under the spell of certain emotions, and therefore it was done. I will be careful. That is the right approach. Instead of saying that I am a karta bhokta. Yes, if you are really having this wisdom throughout, then you can say. For wrong action also you can say, right action also you can say. But if you are selectively saying only for wrong action, then it is not wisdom. It is a pretension. It is escapism. Alright. Now, in the next shloka, Bhagavan is answering a possible question. And what is that question? That wise person, he is free from the identification with the body, mind, sense complex, and therefore free from the sense of doership. And therefore the wise person will not be bound. But someone who is not having this wisdom, I am Satchit Ananda, Akarta, Abhokta, this wisdom has not been assimilated, either not heard, or even if it is heard, it is not something I am convinced of. In the mind still remains that how can I be Akarta? Means not convinced. Even if I am convinced, but it is not fully assimilated by me. Because when something is done wrong, I am feeling so guilty. If something is done good, I am feeling so elated and I get carried away. Means wisdom is not fully assimilated. Then, for an ordinary person, is there a way to get some relief from the bondage of karma? Even without wisdom, can someone have some relief, at least relative freedom from the bondage of karma? Or only for a wise person there is a freedom, for otherwise person there is no way out. To that possible question, Bhagavan answers in the next shloka. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yah lipyatena sapapena padmapatramivambasa. So here Bhagavan says, Arjuna, it is not only a wise person can remain free from the bondage. Even otherwise person who is not a wise person, but who is sincere and who wants to grow in life, who wants to pursue moksha, right now wisdom is not there, then also person can be relatively free from the bondage of karma. How? Brahmani adhaya karmani. Adhaya means having dedicated, karmani actions. To whom? Brahmani. Saguna Brahmani Ishvare. So having dedicated all the actions to Ishvara. This is the essence of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means doing the karma as my offering to the Lord. Let every karma be a flower to worship the Lord. And Sangam Tyaktva, having given up the attachment for karma and karma phala. Means I am doing the action, but I am not passionate about the result. I am doing because it is to be done. Bhagavan is in the form of order of dharma, and Bhagavan has revealed my dharma in this situation. And also Bhagavan has revealed what are the duties of a householder, what are the duties of brahmachari, what are the duties of vanaprastha, sannyasi, whatever ashram I am in, whatever social setup I am in, for that setup there are certain duties to be done. So it is a manifestation of Bhagavan. Bhagavan's order of dharma is manifesting in the form of my particular duties. And I worship that Lord who is in the form of order of dharma by doing what is to be done. Pujya Swamiji's his favorite expression is doing what is to be done. Focus on that. Instead of getting worried about the future or regretting about the past, just focus on what is to be done. That's why our culture is very beautiful, that even some death happens, there are so many things to be done. So the sorrow does not, overwhelm you, because things to be done. And you focus on that, what is to be done. Keep doing what is to be done. That will make your life meaningful. People try to run away from their duties, thinking that then they will be happy by running away. It doesn't happen. As whenever you run away from the duties, you become weaker because you are accepting your defeat. If something is not required to be done and you don't do, it is fine. Some people are little extra initiative. You need not be that. But when situation warrants the duty, then welcoming the Lord who is manifesting in the form of order of dharma and doing what is to be done as my contribution to the totality, which is the expression of Ishvara. And the attitude behind is that I have been given so much by the Lord. The body is given, parents are given, the social infrastructure is given, the air is given, water is given, food is given, sun is given. All of them are contributing to my life. So many things are given by the Lord. Ultimate giver is the Lord only. So I want to express my gratitude through action. That is called Brahmani Adhaya Karmani. And there is no attachment that I am doing this, so people should know. Nowadays people have got great value for photographs. They do for 5 minutes, but they want to be photographed. In this, what is called Swachhata Abhiyan, there is a movement of cleanliness. In India, the Narendra Modi did, I don't know what is that, Swachh Bharat, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, so I will take that, particular broom, like particular triangular, that, and then do little bit 5 minutes. And photograph comes, that's all. If photograph doesn't come, I take selfie also. Nowadays that also is there, otherwise you have to wait in those days for cameraman. So much value to be photographed. So Karma Yogi is the one who keeps doing, not looking at the photograph. He keeps doing what is to be done. Sangam Tyaktva, no attachment, insistence for a particular result. Many people, many parents have this, Swamiji, I care for my children so much, but they don't care for our care. That is a big what is called complaint. Swamiji, we do so much, but they say, I don't want this, I don't want this, don't do this. So we are offering care and they don't care for our care. Don't care for our care. and therefore we feel hurt. Why? Because we want our care to be appreciated by them. You keep doing. See, sun is giving you light. Does sun tell you that you never give receipt? How many units of sunlight you receive? You don't give receipt. Air is giving us breathing. He doesn't ask. Keep doing. Just you focus on what is to be done. Whether they care or they don't care. It is your duty as a mother or father. Bhagavan has given you this role of a mother or father and you play it well. Whether they care, they recognize, is reciprocate or not, doesn't matter. The parents say, in the olden days they used to say, Swamiji, I don't have FDs, but my 3 sons are my FDs. Means what? They will give me every month something, FDs they give interest, monthly interest. So my sons will give me monthly interest, like that. That is not a correct approach. These 3 children or 4 children or whatever number of children, they are the opportunities to express my gratitude to the Lord. I was taken care of by my parents or somebody, ultimately by the Lord. So I want to express my gratitude by doing what is to be done. I have received this knowledge, I share this knowledge. I have been given, I share it. Whatever. That is the attitude. Ultimately you keep Bhagavan in your mind. Generally we have got this so much value to please people, to get recognition from people, to get appreciation from people. Instead of that, I don't need any appreciation. I am doing it for Bhagavan, and Bhagavan knows it what I am doing. Many people have this, Swamiji, I am doing so much, but whether these people know, like especially some people are doing things for Swamiji inside the kitchen, or when Swamiji has not come, he cleans the place. Sometimes thought may come, I am doing all this, but will Swamiji be knowing? Because before he comes, everything is clean. So will he be knowing? So sometimes he may delay also. So when Swamiji is coming, he is doing. That type of things are not required. I do it to the Lord. And Ishvara is Sarvajnaha. So he knows it. And that is called Brahmani Adhaya Karmani. Not expecting appreciation for what I am doing for my parents, for my children, for my siblings, for my friends, anybody. Just keep doing what is to be done. And one spirit of Karma Yoga is you enjoy doing what is to be done. Because you are serving your Bhagavan. You are serving your beloved. When a person is doing something for somebody whom he loves, then it is not a burden, it is a joy. Then similarly, I am serving it to Bhagavan, therefore I am enjoying this work. So since I am enjoying this, what is to be done, therefore there is no expectations of appreciation, etc. from others. While doing itself, I am enjoying. So whatever be the outcome, I don't care. I don't mind. But at the same time, one thing here also I need to say, that some people, they have got a little bit discomfort to appreciation. When they are appreciated, they say, no, don't say like this, don't say like this. There is a rejection of appreciation. Very rarely, but there are people. They say, don't say thank you, don't appreciate, don't say like this. That also is not correct. If somebody appreciates your good action, you say thank you and pass it on to the Lord. Because by God's grace I could do it. And therefore you pass it on, this credit, to Bhagavan. Don't reject. Don't say that don't appreciate me, I will become arrogant. No, nothing. Why will you be arrogant? You just pass it on to the Lord. Some appreciation is there, award is there, whatever is there. And you give credit to all people. Don't take credit. When something good is done, you give the credit to all. When somebody says in ashram, this is very good Swamiji, I said, so many people are working for it. Not that I did, I cannot lift this pad and all this. They are doing. So give credit to all the people who have. And we say Puja Swamiji's grace is there, blessings is there. So don't reject the credit and don't hold on to the credit. That is a healthy approach. So Sangam Tyaktva, having given up the attachment for result and attachment to karma also. See, this is a very, very beautiful balance. You enjoy doing it, but you are not attached to doing it. And how do you know that you are not attached? When there is a possibility that it is being taken away from you, you are happily giving it. Every day you are putting the flowers here, and somebody said, no, from tomorrow I will do it. Or Swamiji has asked me to do. All right. I can help you. These flowers are to be brought from here. If you need any help, I am helping. That is the spirit. Generally, we have seen that people are attached to the work, and if that is taken away from them, they are so bitter, they will not help to the follower, the successor, they will not help. Because they feel as if like kingdom is taken away from me. That's not good spirit. If it is taken away, the next person I can help. This is how it is to be done. I can help you. That is the right spirit. So you enjoy doing it. At the same time, you are ready to let go as and when required. That is called Sangam Tattva. No attachment to karma, no attachment to karma phala. I have done this, therefore I should get this much result. I have taken care of my children, therefore they should take care of me in old age. And that is not there. I take care of my children because Bhagavan has given me the role of being a parent. That's all. What they should do, it is up to them. But many parents are so heartbroken. They say, Swamiji, I used to work extra overtime for children to give them education. I used to take them to tutorial classes on my cycle and all this. All this I remember. And see, Swamiji is not calling me every day. Just I have told him 50 minutes you call. Not calling. This is a big complaint. But he or she may be busy. No, Swamiji, he has got time for his father-in-law, but not for me. So that is a big problem. He calls his father-in-law, but he is not calling. Why he is not calling? Because you are scolding him. Whenever he calls, you say you didn't do like this, you didn't do. Father-in-law doesn't say like this. He said, oh, my son-in-law, you are so wonderful. So people like to hear that. You are scolding, so he will not call you. You also were not calling your father, you were calling your father-in-law also. See, you also must be doing similar things. I tell you one thing, that in life, most of the things we complain, if we see, somewhere or the other, we are also doing similar things. We don't see it and complain to others. But somewhere or the other, we may be doing. Not exactly the same, in a different way. See, somebody is addicted to alcohol, you look down upon and abuse him and all. But you may be addicted to some mobile. You are also addicted. You are addicted to talking. Without talking, you can't remain. You are also addicted. So what a big deal, Anyway, so Sangam Tyaktva means no attachment to particular result. No insistence on particular result. No insistence on the continuity of action. Alright. And such a person, papena na lipyate. That person is not affected by the papam which can generally happen if there is violation of some rule. If a person is doing his duty and some mistake happens, he will not be affected by the papam. It is something like, You have hired a person for doing some job, and that person is expecting a very big salary and you are giving him because you are helpless, you have to give. And that person, if he commits mistake and you have some loss, you will be very angry with that person because he is so particular about his salary. 1 hour extra he works, he puts overtime. Half a day work, he asks for half day's salary extra. So he is so particular about getting salary from you, and he commits mistake, you will say, how I am paying you so much, how can you do this? But your friend is doing something for you. You said you take salary, he said, what salary? I am your friend. He doesn't take anything, doesn't count working hours. And that person does some mistake. Will you scold him? Not scold him. Why? Because he is not doing for salary. He is doing and he is very sincere. He doesn't want to commit a mistake. He is not careless. But human being can have a mistake, can have an error. So you will say something happened, then first question will be, I hope you are not hurt. Oh, but there was a loss. It doesn't matter. You are my friend. So similarly, when a person is doing karma only to offer it to the Lord without expecting any material benefit, then that person's karma will not invite papa. But it does not mean he is careless. But in spite of being sincere, he commits a mistake in doing rituals or anything, papam will not come. And his all karma will be utilized, as it will be mentioned in the next sloka, only for chitta shuddhi. Like your friend is doing something for you without salary. What will be the benefit? Your love, your respect, your gratitude to your servant will increase. To your friend will increase. And whenever he needs anything, you are available. You are not paying money, but really speaking, he is getting more than money. If he was working for you, then you will be giving him 20,000, 30,000 salary. But he just works for you without any salary. And he needs some money, 1 lakh rupees for some surgery, you are ready to give. Why? Because he just works for you without any consideration. So similarly, when a person does karma without expecting any material benefit, then karma will not bind the person. Papena na lipyate. And here some commentators says, punyena api na lipyate. He will not get this material punyam nor material papam. What he will get? He will get spiritual punyam through every activities. So whatever activity he does, he gets spiritual punyam. No papam, material papam, no material punyam. Only he gets spiritual punyam. What is spiritual punyam? The invisible factor which will create conducive spiritual atmosphere. That is very, very important for a sadhaka. Because otherwise, if this is not the spiritual punyam, conducive situation will not come. Even if it comes, some obstacles will come and person has to leave the pursuit. Therefore, one needs to earn lot of spiritual this punyam before person seriously takes up this atmajnana. And that he gets by this offering karma to Bhagavan. And he is not affected by papa. How it is said? Padma patram iva ambasa. Just as the leaf of the lotus is not affected lipyate ambasa by water. The leaf of water have got wax on it. Therefore, even water comes on it, it doesn't wet it. Water just slips down. So similarly, this sadhaka is like Padma Patram, leaf of the lotus, not affected by this karma. Ambasa means water, is a representative of karma. Just as the leaf of the lotus is not affected by water, Similarly, sadhaka is not affected by any karma. You keep doing what is to be done. Then even if some mistake happens, you have readiness to correct it and you will grow. Even mistakes will teach you. Failure, so-called failure, you try to do something, it did not work, it will be a learning experience, growing experience. In fact, people learn so much from failure. It's not only success, from failure also you can learn. And so he will not have any bondage in the form of any reaction, nor in the form of any papa. So Karma Yoga keeps you relatively free from the bondage of action. But it's a relative freedom. It is not freedom like a wise person which was described in the previous shloka, but he will have a very great shock absorber because of this attitude. Now this Karma Yoga, how benefits the person? What is the attitude of sadhaka while doing the karma? That is given in the next shloka. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalairindrayairapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva shuddhaye. This also is one of the popular shlokas of the 5th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Yoginaha, karma yoginaha, karma yogis, karma kurvanti, do actions. How? Kayena, with the help of body, like puja he does, some seva he does, physical activities. Then manasa, mental activities. Some people's job is only to mental activities, planning, etc. Planning, deciding. And even for oneself, manasa, whatever action he does through mind. Buddhya, so nishchaya, through the decision. So manasa is certain deliberation. Buddhya, nishchitya, means he does the decision. And indriyahi api, and even through the organs. But what type of organs? Kevalaihi. Kevalaihi means free from this possessiveness. Mamatva shunyahi, free from mamatva. That by this karma I will get this benefit, by that karma I will get that benefit, and then I will become very rich, I will become very happy. That type of mamatva buddhi is not there. With reference to karma and karma phala, this mamatvam is not there. Mamatvam is minus. This my karma, I am doing, nobody else can do it. This is my karma and nobody else can do and nobody else should do it. I alone can do it. That type of mamatvam is not there. And with regard to result, I did this karma and how can you take credit? This is a big problem. In the house, one lady will be cooking inside, she will be making things, and other lady will be going out and serving, and she gets all credit. So lady inside will be fuming that see, I am cooking and others are getting credit. So every now and then she said, I will come and serve. So that is not there. I do it and somebody gets credit, doesn't matter. I am not doing karma for getting credit. If you can have that much dispassion, it is a great dispassion. I do karma, let others take credit. Doesn't matter. I am enjoying and I am serving the Lord through this. That is what really matters. So, Kevalaihi means mamatva, without any minus, that I have done so I alone should get result. Nobody should claim it. And that is not there. So, Kevalaihi indriyahi, and Kevala Shabda should go with Kayena Manasa Buddhya. With Kevalena Kayena, Kevalena Manasa, Kevalaya Buddhya, Kevalaihi Indriyahi. In Tamil, Kevala has got the word wrong person or something, is an abusive word, not a good word. So here Kevala is not that by wrong buddhi, by this, that's something evil buddhi, that is not idea. Kevala means mere. And mere means There is no mamatvam. Yogina karma kurvanti. For what purpose? Atma shuddhaye. For the purity of the mind. And again it is repeated, sangam tyaktva. Having given up the attachment for the result, attachment for karma, just do it because it is to be done. Whatever be the outcome, whenever it comes, let it come. As per law of karma, it will come. That Shraddha is there. In this life of karma, Shraddha in Ishvara, that Ishvara will give the result according to my karma. And sometimes this past karma also has got some impact. Therefore, this time I did not get result because the obstructive punya papam was there. Therefore, it neutralized. It doesn't matter. I keep doing what is to be done. That is called sangam tyaktva. Atma shuddhe, for the purity of the mind, these yogis, karma, they do the karma. This is the spirit of karma yoga. More about this we will see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamat Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.